In order to be at the highest level of performance, you not only need to outperform your competition, and by that I mean on product and on operational effectiveness, but you also need to dramatically outbehave your competition. Dramatically outbehave your competition. The second idea is, so how do you dramatically outbehave your competition? You build intimate relationships. And I use that word very carefully, intimate relationships with your customers, but also within the network. I think that's the huge opportunity. A lot of clients that we have are very customer-centric or client-centric, they say. But they never look at their internal team as clients as well. The great companies like Bottega Veneta, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how they've achieved their success and how we work together with them to achieve their success because they're a sister company of yours, have that outlook. They look at the internal team as clients. They look at the external teams as clients, and they build deep, broad, intimate relationships. And the third part, the third idea that I think is probably a little paradoxical, and we'll have to think about it, but I'll give you examples, is that in order to build those intimate relationships, we don't just use art, psychology, the human element, but we also use science. So the great companies today are optimizing, not compromising. A lot of people think that technology, big data, analytics is going to replace human beings, when in fact it's just the opposite. Great technology, great data, analytics, metrics are going to enhance. As good as you are, you can be dramatically enhanced by technology, data, insight. And I'll give you a quick example before we go into the rest of the presentation. Kasparov is a chess master who's very famous and frankly, a guy with a great personality. The story used to be that Kasparov was beating the IBM computer. And then recently it was that the IBM supercomputer could beat Kasparov. But Kasparov is a very dynamic and tremendously insightful person. So he runs these contests with chess masters and computers. And in those competitions, you can compete as a chess master, as an individual, or you can put a computer in to compete, or you can do any combination thereof. And most of the time what wins is not the brilliant chess master or the supercomputer. What wins, I'll give you an example, it was two chess masters who don't score 2,800 but score 1,500, young kids, using PCs. And that's because you can use the power of the computer to do all that analytics that we cannot do so easily, but then you combine that and optimize that with great insight and great instinct and great judgment, and that brings out the best performance. So I want to inspire you through the rest of this presentation to think about those ideas. The dramatic outbehaving your competition, the building relationships across, as Paul said so brilliantly, all of your domains, all of your constituencies, but also not just to use relationship building in the human sense, but to add the enhancement and the empowerment of big data, technology, metrics, in order to really drive that performance to the highest level, and do it in a way that your clients understand that it's humanity, but it's humanity empowered by knowledge.